Pardon? Where did it break? Under a brace.
Yes, harvest. That's great. All right. With that, I will call this special session of the library's Joint Powers Authority Board to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Tina Friend.
Here.
Martin Bernal.
Here.
Jamie Goldstein.
Here.
Nicole Coburn, alternate for Carlos Palacios.
Here.
Okay, are there any changes to today's agenda?
No.
All right. Oral communication. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any items that are not on today's agenda. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment, which will take us to item 4, general business, and the grand jury response. Can you give a staff report, please?
I have met individually with all of you about the grand jury findings. You've also seen the presentation that responded to it. So I don't have significantly more. In front of you, you have a copy of the director's response as well as the JPA's response. The Library Advisory Commission will approve a response on September 15th. So unless there are any edits, I would suggest that we move forward.
Are there any questions?
I have just one question. So when I was going over this more thoroughly in preparation today, I was looking at reading the findings and responses, and I had just a question on finding F1. This is on I'm looking at the version page 3 of the packet. And therein the findings says the use of Gala Analytics on demand by the libraries was inconsistent with the library's longstanding policy on confidentiality of library records and companion document information we keep about you. And then in the response drafted, we talk about our policy and just philosophies on how libraries are handling data. And then we say that it's not clear how the use of the AOD system is inconsistent with our policy on confidentiality. And I just wanted to make a reference to the companion document, as it's called in the finding information we keep about you. Is that a policy? Is that not a policy? Because we don't expressly address that in our response to that. So I didn't understand that that was actually a policy, that it was more just a compendium of information. And so therefore our response is complete. I just want to verify that when I read that.
It is a portion of our website that's continually evolving. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I could just do is add a paragraph that said, it isn't a policy statement, it is an information piece for the public. What's hard for me to do is to nail down on any date what it said.
Oh, right.
Because it's continually evolving. But I do think if I just do a clarification statement about what that is, mm-hmm. that would add clarity to the document.
And that's been involved into that new privacy webpage we looked at in our last
Correct.
meeting, okay, which is very comprehensive. Okay, I think that just a line, just to address that, might make this just a more complete answer. But that's my only comment.
So would it be more accurate to describe that as a procedure rather than a policy? Something, or staff procedure? I'm not sure exactly the way to characterize it, but it's not.
It was a communication device for the public.
Okay.
And it has been updated into the full privacy policy and website. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
And I think there were just a couple changes that we've got to make with JPA response. The JPA didn't have to respond to every single item, so we'll take out the items that they weren't required to respond to.
I think when we've done that in Capitol, if they have some that are directed to the police chief and some to the city council, we just prepare one comprehensive response and submit it on behalf of both.
Okay.
So I think it's up to you how best you want to.
Were those questions in the template that we received in terms of responding?
Yeah.
You've seen everything.
Yeah.
But the library director was supposed to do the full set.
Correct.
And the JPA was supposed to do a subset. And in this packet, it has 2 responses, the library director's full set, the JPA as the full set. And so I think the thought was to just have the JPA's response mirror what was asked of them. But it wouldn't change any of their responses.
Yeah.
One other question is, so related to those 2 different responses that are in here, are they the same?
They're the same.
Okay.
I've kept a subcommittee of the Library Advisory Commission abreast of what's happening. They've seen all the drafts. They still have the option to defer if they choose. But at this point, they are not, the subcommittee's not recommending differences.
And they're going to they have requested responses, and you said those are going to be, they're working on those.
And everything
They
will be
send
submitted by
directly.
the 23rd.
Okay.
All right. With that, I'll open this up for public comment. Does anyone want to address the board related to the grand jury response? Seeing none, I'll close public comment, bring it back to the board for deliberation.
So I'll move approval of the grand jury responses as discussed with a minor clarification on that finding 1 and maybe looking at the formatting.
I'll second.
All right, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so this takes us to the naming contract for Live Oak Library. We have a staff report, please.
Naming contracts are really go through the jurisdiction, but what we want to do is ensure that the JPA has the opportunity to see them and flag them if there's any problems. This is a memorial naming at the Live Oak Library. We'll bring some nice resources into the branch. We fully support it, and my understanding is the county has already approved it.
Right, so the Board of Supervisors took up this naming contract at our last meeting and they approved it.
All right. Any other
Okay,
questions?
these are kind of the standard terms we have in all of these. Okay.
So that was my question. This mirrors the agreements Capitol entered into with the Monty family and the Al family.
Mirrors, I would say that we're getting better at the contracts.
Okay,
And
so there's slight nuances and differences between the two.
Improving.
That's always a challenge when you do improve these sorts of things and then they exist over time and they have.
It's better than yours.
All right. Regardless, they're always better. Whenever anyone's bringing money to the library, it's always better. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
I'll move approval of the item.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. That concludes our special meeting, open session of our special meeting this morning. With that, I will take us into closed session. Thank you all.
I invited Tom